All right, George, welcome back. Canteen Talks. We did a little talking in the break. You couple Cal Ripken cards,
I'll get you some more
some
for
other
your
good
kid.
stuff. Thank you, man. Truly appreciate that.
You're
But hey,
welcome.
let's talk now. So as we're wrapping up phase one, you kind of started getting into AIT and the
Yeah,
ability to go and play softball, driving a car around the base and getting saluted.
that was the
That's
best.
funny, man.
That was the best.
Um, but you started talking about your orders, and this is the exciting part. And I know about a week ago you and I spoke, and you told me about a book. So I'd love to hear about that book because it's
Yeah,
about the cavalry that you were with.
yeah.
But walk me through that. You get your orders. You go to your new
Very
unit.
Cav.
Walk me, educate me, teach me.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
go.
one thing I wanted to bring up before we continue,
Sure.
since we was in the first phase and I forgot to bring it out, was this book I got. It's the high school I went to.
Okay.
And now this high school is very important and significant in this conversation because this high school, Edison High School,
Okay.
was the number one high school that sent more soldiers in the combat than any other high school in the country.
Wow.
This is factual. You can verify. You can look it up.
Okay.
It's history. So I went to the high school that most soldiers were sent to, and it
Okay.
was because it was basically all black school.
Oh, really?
It was all
Wow.
black.
Okay.
I think there was maybe there was like close to 2,000,
Okay.
say 1,800 students, and maybe 16 were white.
Okay.
The 300 were Puerto Rican, and about 1,500 were black.
We're black.
It was all
Okay.
black. I got my yearbook I could show you,
Okay.
but I wanted to show you this book because we lost more soldiers from this high school,
Really?
and we sent more soldiers in the combat from this high school than any other high school in the country.
Wow, it's
And like I
fascinating.
said, it's a verifiable. It's
I, I
Thomas,
I will order that book. I enjoy
yeah,
reading.
Thomas Edison High School in Philadelphia. It was
Okay.
on 8th and Lehigh, Philadelphia.
Okay.
And so I needed to make that part of our conversation because it's the high school I went to.
Okay.
And my cousin gave me that book. I was on a trip to Philadelphia a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
What I'm sharing with you guys, I didn't know anything about
Okay.
it. And my cousin got me that book because he didn't go to that high school.
Okay.
I did. And he was proud of me going
So
to
he
that high
connected the
school.
dots as he read it. He's
Yes.
like, wow.
My cousin went.
Yeah, yeah.
So
George
he got,
went there.
he got me the book.
Okay.
So and then that other book I got that we're gonna get into now, I guess.
So yeah, let's talk about that because that's
This is the
tell me about it.
unit that I was
The
assigned
Black
to.
Horse Riders.
Black Horse. Yeah,
Okay.
we
And
were
who's
called.
the author? Is it Philip Keith? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got
I
that same one.
I just got this book as a gift from another comrade, a Vietnam vet.
Okay.
That's my neighbor, but he lives in North Carolina,
Okay.
and he sent me this. It just happened to arrive in the holidays, but we talked about this last month. We was
Okay.
having lunch at Caruso's restaurant over here in Balboa,
Yeah.
and he knew I was assigned to this unit, so he got me this book. So
Perfect.
I got
Perfect.
a little bit of reading. Cross segue.
Yeah, perfect segue.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good little. So let's talk
Yeah.
about that unit.
Yeah, so-
Yeah. How old were you that by that time? Like 20?
Like 20.
Okay.
20. So I was 21, I think.
Okay. Already 21.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
'cause
So you're now
I
moving
was a
into.
little older, yeah.
Okay.
And don't forget I had deferred the first time.
Yeah.
I deferred the service. And so I was so upset when they told me I was assigned to the 11th Cav, you know?
Okay.
And I had no idea how could everybody know who the hell these people are? And it was really upsetting me. I didn't want to tell nobody anymore what my orders were
Sure.
because it was really upsetting. Oh, you you're going to hell. You got screwed, boy. You're going to regret. You got sent here. You're going to regret it. And it's like a lottery. When you go get your orders, it's like a lottery.
Yeah.
They need 5 for this unit, 20 for this because they had a big loss. We need 20 to go to the 8th Infantry
Okay.
or to the 5th Marine Corps.
Yep.
We need 100 to go there.
Yep.
And that's how they don't
Assignment.
pick you for
Yeah.
assignment unless you got a connection. You're related to political people or
Okay.
that's different.
Unless
right?
you got pool.
Unless you got pool, got money
Yeah.
or pool.
Right.
But I was blessed to have served with a good commander. My
Okay.
Captain William Henson and the 11th Cav was
Okay.
a very honorable man. And he went into the military as an enlisted man.
Okay.
By the time we crossed paths, he was a captain.
Okay.
So he went to AIT, Officer Training School, OTS, is it Officer Training School?
Well,
OTI or something like that.
For nowadays, I think it's called OCS, Officer
OCS,
Cadet School.
Officer Cadet School.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. OCS.
Yeah.
Okay, so he went there. He got his officers. He's got his
His
commission,
commission. Okay.
and he was a captain. I understand he's a colonel now, and I
Oh.
think he's still alive, and he's living in Utah. I would love to run into him. I would
Okay.
love it more than anything in this world. He's the one that convinced me to get into some of the COVID operations that we were assigned to.
Oh,
some of
really?
these crazy operations that were covert. They weren't over the top. They weren't something people talked about. It was
Yeah.
covert stuff. It was top secret stuff. And he's the one that he didn't force me to do it.
Okay.
He kind of guided me.
you.
Yeah, and because I told him I didn't know what I wanted to do because
Sure.
I had a wife, a kid there, and another one
on
coming.
the way. You said, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so I was concerned about my family when I was introduced to be assigned to this special assignment, that this COVID operation that I'm telling you. And he told me that to weigh everything out, go home, think about it. It was a weekend, so I had a few days to think about it. I came back and I said I'll do it, and I did it.
Okay.
And I guess we'll talk about that later. But
let's talk about that later.
Yeah,
let's kind of
that's
talk a little bit
later
about.
on.
You get to your unit. You're with the cavalry. How soon thereafter are you deployed to?
Oh, right away.
Really?
About 6-7 days. I mean, it took me 5 days to get the orders. On my 7th day, I was gone. So 2 days after I got the orders, I was gone.
Wow. And what
And it
was
was-
that like when you called your family or your parents? Were you married by then?
Yeah,
At
I
that
was
point?
married.
Okay, so you're married. What was
I
that
got
like when you-
married before going to the service. I
Oh,
get more
really?
money. Yeah, because I knew I was gonna go. So, and I thought maybe they wouldn't send me because I had a wife and
And a
kid,
kid,
and if
yeah.
I get killed, And I thought all these stupid, crazy things.
Yeah,
but
when you're young, we think a
I
lot
was
of weird things, how we can
strategic.
get out of things, right?
Trying to be strategic.
Right,
know?
right. So, you get deployed, but before you get deployed, you got to talk to your family, right? What was that experience like when you let him know, hey, I'm getting shipped?
The funny thing, I don't know how it is now, but in those days, we used to have like a post office box. We didn't have addresses.
Okay.
So when we got sent, no one knew where I was going.
Okay.
And I was told not to share that. So my family didn't know
No
where I
phone
was
calls?
at. No phone calls.
What?
No
Wow.
calls, no letters. They were, I don't know why, I think, that at the time and everything, and I think when I went in, there were peace talks already.
Okay.
So they were already dismantling the majority of the presence in Vietnam.
Okay.
So I went at the tail end. That didn't say. I mean, I still got some assignments that were, like search and destroy missions. I had a couple of those, and successful but depressing. Once you accomplish a mission, and then you're told to stand down.
Yeah.
There's nothing more depressing than that.
Tell me why. I
Well,
don't
because
understand.
it's so hard.
Okay.
It's so hard to do. You go through maybe 50, 60 miles of jungle, and it's like 4 or 5 miles a day.
Yeah.
It takes a month for you to find this and get this mission accomplished.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, somebody from Washington says, stand down,
Sit
and
around.
that's it. No, stand down. Do not do anything.
Oh, okay.
Go return.
Okay.
Stand down. Your mission has been accomplished.
Yeah.
And we didn't accomplish our mission. We're supposed it was a search and destroy,
Okay.
not a search and find and leave.
And leave.
It was
Okay.
search and destroy assignment,
Got it.
and we didn't do it.
Wow.
So it's hurt. It hurts because you lose lives. It's not easy. You get there sick, hungry, cold, wet,
Miserable.
malaria all
Okay.
over you. I don't know how much people know about Vietnam, but there was more people killed from malaria and diseases from the waters and
Okay.
the rivers and that kind of stuff than from combat.
Really?
I mean,
Wow.
I have a few friends that they've all passed since. I'm blessed. I'm be 72 pretty soon,
Okay.
and I'm still kicking. I mean, that what you told me about the sit-ups, it makes all the sense in the world because I used to compete to make who got to 100 sit-ups fastest.
Yeah.
I could do 100 push-ups, but I wasn't as fast in push-ups and I was terrible at pull-ups.
Okay.
I couldn't do pull-ups. I could do the minimum 10
Okay.
of them, and it took me a minute and a half to do 10.
Sure.
It was hard for me. I didn't have that upper body strength, But
In the Corps, they teach you to kip as well. There's a
Yeah.
way you swing your legs and your body.
Like would you do the ones like this?
No,
Did you do the ones like this, or did you do one
I was
standing
straight
up?
up, and
Uh huh.
then I would swing my body in a certain motion, and I get up, and as soon as that momentum kicks, I'm doing 30, 40, 50 without a problem, nonstop.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a kip because when you try to do it by yourself, I can get like 20, 25. But
Huh.
when you kip, you can go on forever. It's amazing.
It's
It's
a
a
technique.
it's a technique,
It's a
correct? And it's called
technique.
a kip. And the same thing with the shit
I never heard of
with the
that.
sit ups. It's how you whip your body. And it's funny because my son we'll see a pull up bar somewhere, and I'll be like, I bet you I can still do like 15 pull ups. And he's like, really? And I'll get up there and I start kipping, and I'll probably get to like 10 because I
So
don't
they,
have the strength anymore.
yeah.
Everything hurts in my body, but in my head, I'm still competitive. I'm still want to show him, So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's it. But
Yeah. Well, that's it's interesting, but like you said, when we want to do what we do, it takes that sacrifice
yeah,
to go that extra mile to do that extra sit up, that extra push up, that
yeah,
extra chin up. And that's what my life was always about. And for you young fellas out there, you young veterans and soldiers who have a whole life ahead of you, take that in mind. The body doesn't stay young forever. So try and treat it with respect. Our organs work 24 hours a day for all our lives. So treat it with the respect that it's giving you life. So you give it good food and good nurturing and treat it good, because that's the least we could do for these organs that are giving us life. So this is the
tremendous,
word of wisdom for you guys.
tremendous advice, George.
Yes.
Because I know my parents used to say, you know, you're you're not always going to be strong. You're going to feel the pain later. And in my brain, I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm sure I can do this. And now I suffer.
Yeah. Yeah.
The body breaks down. That's what I always tell
Yes.
people. I've seen my
Yes.
body deteriorate, and obviously, I think you feel it the same, right?
Yes.
You're
Absolutely.
not what you once were, and you
No.
talked about that hard charger,
Yeah.
that you were just tearing things up, being like the competitive man
And
that you
that's
were,
sad.
and now you're like feeling
Yeah.
it,
It's
and you
sad.
used to compete, man. Those medals
Yeah.
are amazing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then comes a point where it just certain things take over.
And like you said, the body, the lumbar, the neck. That's something when we're young, we're so strong and healthy that it doesn't bother us. Even though, because you know what, Hugo, I've always had pain, neck pain, back pain, but I've always dealt with pain. It's
Hmm.
not no biggie. I don't need to be drugged up or out drunk and I was drugged and drunk because of my mind problems,
Yeah,
mental issues and stuff, but not physical stuff. I don't get drugged or do drugs because of pain.
yeah,
I do it because my head is so messed up that I just don't know how to think.
yeah,
I'm learning now at this stage in my life how to be mindful
yeah.
of
So,
things.
George, let's talk a little bit about that. And again, I don't want you to share anything that is going to trigger anything,
Yeah,
but you've experienced, Fox, some serious PTSD in boot camp
yeah,
watching Julio
yeah,
come down in
yeah,
an unfortunate circumstance,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that's creates trauma in your mind, and
yeah,
even though you trap it and you try to push it in the back of your mind,
yeah,
it affects you nowadays, right? So then you
yeah,
you, you experience covert stuff that you went through. You
yeah,
experienced stuff when
yeah,
you were in the cavalry
yeah.
out in
Saigon,
Nam,
yeah,
so we're
Saigon,
Saigon, right? That shit, it's got to be a lot of stuff for a young man, 18, 19, 20, 21.
yeah.
By the time you got out and trying to cope with it as a civilian life, and here you are. Talk about some of the stuff that you've had to do to try to cope and deal with it, right? Whether it's the nightmares you wake up, how did you
Yeah,
cope with that?
I
Was it
still,
breathing techniques or
yeah,
I use alcohol a lot.
yeah,
I can wake up in the middle of the night and drink.
yeah.
Where you feel comfortable, just
Yeah, I, I never really learned how to manage my mental problems.
hmm
Like you said, just drinking. I stopped drinking about 3 years ago, and I've had a drink here and there, but it's nothing like I used to. I drank every day. I fall asleep, like after I had
sure,
12, 15 beers and a few. I became a vodka man, vodka cranberry, vodka
okay,
tonic, whatever. But I would have to have a $40, $50 worth of liquor in me
yeah,
before I could fall asleep every night
yeah,
for decades and
yes,
decades. It's not like years and years; it's decades,
yes,
And so I didn't know, why I was doing this. I'm learning all this stuff now at this late stage in my life.
Yeah.
I'm here alone with my little buddy here. I have a little Frenchie that
Yeah.
we have him locked up because he'll be all over the place. But it's just me and him, and I don't see many people. I mean, I have 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters, but they have a life, and I don't want to be in their life
Yeah.
all the time. So yeah, I was over there Christmas, spent a couple hours,
Sure.
and my other daughter came over here for Christmas Day. I was with my other daughter the Christmas Eve. We spent an hour here and there, but out of the week,
Yeah.
some weeks I don't see them.
Yeah.
I might see them twice a month or 3 times a month.
Yeah.
And this time of the year, when it's the holidays,
Yeah.
because everybody has a life, and
Yep.
they got to go to school, they get their life. So I don't see much. I'm just around my veteran friends now.
Okay.
I'm in all kind of groups.
Yes.
PTSD.
I met you in a chronic pain management, right?
Management,
And it was for me, it was a great course, and
yes,
meeting
I
you
love it.
was amazing. Just when you
Yes,
were
thank
talking
you.
to hear your stories, and just like you're learning to cope with the PTSD that you deal with, I'm learning as well, because I didn't realize it. I shared with you that I got in trouble
Yeah,
for fighting,
yeah.
and that's where it got me here. And you kind of share with me a little bit about that. Tell me about
Yeah.
how, because we don't realize that
No.
it's the stuff that we're dealing with, the pains, the aggravation, the, what do you call it?
Just the sad experiences that we go through. The unfortunate circumstances in our life that was in our lives before, and now they kind of straddle, and they're like our tail.
Yeah.
We don't never shake them loose. They're always there, but we don't know.
Yeah, there's situations that trigger you, right?
Yeah.
That get you in,
I don't know.
yeah, especially
How
when
I
you're
get
younger.
into fights.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
fights, right? Yeah, yeah.
Constantly get into fights,
Yeah.
like always. And then I used to think it was because, man, I came from a family of men. I had a lot of uncles, and I had a lot of male cousins, and we didn't have a lot of girls. So we didn't fight a lot, but nobody messed with us.
Sure.
And we did know how to fight.
So you're trying to justify it by thinking it was because of that.
Because of that, but it was so
here.
much.
I grew up with a family of 4 boys. I have 2 sisters as well.
Yeah.
And to us, it was all, it's just boy stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. But no, it's like I'm learning now.
Yes, it's unfortunate, and hopefully, I'm so happy for you putting this canteen talk together, because hopefully it'll reach people that won't otherwise do so.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I wish you a lot of luck with this, and anything I can do to help, you call me, and
Thank
I'm
you.
there for you, because it's a good cause.
Thank you.
I think this is something that can get to a lot of veterans. We need to do something about saving vets.
Yes.
There's about 23, I don't know if it's 22 or 23 vets that kill themselves every day.
Yes.
I'm on an hourly basis. We have a suicide of a veteran.
Yeah, the statistics are pretty awful.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That group of veterans, because you have your group of teenage people that commit suicide. You have older people, you have the women, you have the men, you have the boys, the older, all these different categories of groups.
Yes.
Well, I think the biggest group of people that commit suicide are veterans. I'm not sure about that, but I'm thinking it's close to it.
Close to, yeah. No, I met a veteran yesterday that I interviewed, and he got to that point as well.
Yeah. Well,
and his story will be out there in 2026 in January.
Good.
The videos will start coming out in January. January 1st will be the first one, and then yours will be part of that play. So we'll get a little more into the civilian part, talking phase 3. Let's kind of go back to your days in the cavalry.
Okay.
In your book, because I did a little research, the cavalry was a big, strong, powerful unit during like World War I, World War II, because they were fighting urban terrain. I don't know if that's what it's called, right?
Yes,
right?
Yes, it's more a civil setting. It's city. It's a civilized structure.
And then you guys had a difficult time in Nam, because you're taking now
city,
fighting in cities and towns where buildings and structures and blowing up.
Yes.
Place. Now you're in the jungle setting, and these things get stuck. The tracks,
the rifles. The rifles used to jam. That we used to use M16.
M16s. Okay, you guys had the M16s already, not the A1s.
No. Well, I went in when the transfer from the M14.
Okay.
M14 to the M16.
Okay.
And before that was the M1.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
It was M1, M14, M16.
Okay.
So when we got the M16, it was a pain in the ass, because we, in Vietnam, there's a lot of little rivers, lakes, streams, and you know, it's a lot
Sure.
of water. It rains a lot. It's
Yes.
like a tropics, and so it's sticky, muggy, a lot of mosquitoes, there's a lot of bugs and shit.
That's cause of the malaria you mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I mean, a lot of you, if you're interested in reading,
I will definitely look it up.
you'll see what I'm telling you. We lost thousands of soldiers to malaria.
Okay.
I think we lost 57,000 in the 20 years that we were there.
Holy shit.
57,000 soldiers. I think the one in Afghanistan, Iraq, I think there was like 12,000 in
Okay.
22 years. So they're saving more soldiers now, which is good.
Yeah.
But in Nam it was totally different. And another thing about Nam that I found out later, not when I
Sure.
was in the service, there was so much of that Milai, you know, that village that that captain killed, all the villagers.
Yes.
There was old men, old women, little children, newborns. They all went.
George, can I tell you? I just watched the documentary called Undercover, I believe,
Undercover.
on Netflix,
Okay.
and it's about the reporter Hirsch, and he talks about that particular incident in Nam. And
Yeah.
the captain, how they, it's called Cover Up. I'm sorry, it's called Cover Up.
Cover Up.
It just came out.
Really?
Really fucking good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I gotta see it.
What exactly what you just said.
Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix. Exactly what you just said.
Yeah,
Is
terrible.
he talks about it because they were trying to put the blame on a lieutenant.
Yeah,
and
that,
then it
that
all
wasn't guilty.
it all unraveled.
Yeah.
And how it unravels for him in this in the
Was
in
he the guy that wrote the report on it? Or was he the one that like the Woodward and team?
He was like
that,
Woodward,
that
yeah.
Watergate stuff.
Exactly.
He
Yes,
was the guy.
He was the guy.
What's
on
his
that
name?
one.
Hirsch.
Hirsch was his last name.
And the name of this, what is it?
Cover Up.
Cover Up.
And yeah, and he goes through a series of different cover-ups, and then Bob Woodward comes in there.
Other events
that he's covered that are cover-ups.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, and we have so many in this country.
I just watched it the other day.
Wow. I gotta see it then.
Now that you talk about that, it's like, oh, it's so fresh, right?
But you know what? And you know, a lot of people like me, we were doing service honorably, right?
Yep.
Combat.
Yep.
I would have never. They would have had to court martial me, but that what they did of killing. Let me close. Excuse me a second.
Yep.
What they did with all those villages and all those people, they unjustifiably killed.
Yes.
That's something that I would never do. They'd have to put me in jail because, yeah, there are rules and there's laws, but we also have a brain.
Yeah.
And even though you're young, you gotta have the sense to, if your captain or your CO, your commanding officer gives you an order, it has to be reasonable, logical. Yeah, okay, you gotta take orders. You know, like what's the order? You do what you're told. You're a soldier. And that's why we're trained, right?
Yep.
You get an order, you obey your order. Well, 99.9% of the time, that's what's going to happen with me. But they tell me to kill a baby that's only months old. I'm sorry, you kill him.
Yeah.
That's a defenseless person.
Yeah.
It counts on somebody else feeding it to live.
Yeah.
I can't kill that person.
Yeah.
Put me in jail. Kill me. But I'm not killing them. That's just who I am.
That documentary, there's some folks that they talk about that they're the ones that went out and became like the whistleblowers at that time. It wasn't a name for it, but they're the ones that were given those orders and they refused to do it. And that's honorable, right? That's just like yourself. It's honorable, right? You know right from wrong.
Of course.
And you know, there's a lot of you told the line. We told the line a lot of the stuff that you do. But there's certain things that you know right away. It's like that's a no.
You can't do.
That's a no.
Yeah, you can't do. Well, you know, that's the thing about Nam that, you know, a lot of us from that era that served, you know, it wasn't fun. You know, coming home, I remember, you know, going through the airports and people just spitting on the floor. Really? Look at me and spit. You know, that's nothing more aggravating or more upsetting than that.
Yeah.
You're risking your life out there. And these people over here going to sleep in a nice warm place, or they go to sleep in an air-conditioned room. They got food all the time they want it. And we're out there starving sometimes, eating cold food, and sometimes no food, bugs, grasshoppers, you know, just to put something in our stomach. Yeah. And these motherfuckers are going to treat us the way they treated us. And
it's unfortunate.
It is.
Because they take things for granted. not realizing the folks that are serving to protect the Constitution,
And we're
right?
soldiers.
And,
We
yeah,
we only doing what we're told. You
yeah,
know, if you're a colonel, which is one of those high ranks, or a general, which they usually command thousands of soldiers,
yep,
right? Colonels and
yep,
generals. Majors smaller, but a full bird colonel or general, they command usually thousands
yeah,
and tens of thousands of soldiers, depending on their assignment. But those people are the ones that you can get mad at for doing those kind of acts. But after having, like, I can't wait to see this thing you're telling me
yeah,
about. I imagine, because that's what I always thought, that My Lai was one of those segregated acts that didn't happen much. But after talking to a few Vietnam vets, the ones that we still have around, they told me they were doing that kind of stuff,
yeah,
and I couldn't believe it. They told me that's what that was the biggest trauma that they dealt with, having killed old ladies with the kids in their hands,
yeah.
like 2-year-old kids. I remember one guy we used to call, his name was Phil Goins, went to the VA here.
Okay,
He got into a shootout with the cops here at this VA.
really?
Yeah, the helicopters came and everything. He made the newspaper, and made all the newspaper, and made the nationwide news.
Wow.
I was at that VA that day,
At that
and
time,
Phil was a very good friend of mine.
okay,
We were very tight. Uh, he, you know, he wasn't a bad guy, and they kind of put him into that corner where he couldn't get out.
okay,
And I was so upset because I was there that day, and I wonder if he would have shot me too. But if I was there, I would have tried to stop him.
yeah,
And he might still be here. He was a great guy. He was in the back. Everybody called him Vietnam. That was his nickname,
okay,
Vietnam. He never spoke. He always shouted. He always screamed at everything. But I got along with the guy great. And he was a good guy. Wound up killing himself because he ran out of bullets. He was in a shootout with the VA here. Then he got in his car and went up to high school in Devonshire. He didn't have many bullets left. He got out, and this old man came up and told him, "Son, turn yourself in." And he told me all his life, because he did a few stenches up in Fulton and
okay,
Soledad. He did a few 5-year hitches,
hmm,
and he said, "I'm not going back to jail, Georgie, ever. I'm not going back to jail." And so I knew he was going to get
so he needs a
good.
serious help, and it's
Yeah, he
unfortunate.
needed bad,
Yeah,
and he was also a heroin addict. Also, he was on the methadone program, and he just didn't make it.
yeah.
He
Oh,
just didn't make it. But he was a good guy, and unfortunate. This is the stuff that hopefully these type of tapes and communications will be able to help other people. Not because I was going to do that. If it wasn't for that dog, I was going to finish it off because
wow.
of the pain. It got overwhelming. And it all happened at one time: arthritis, degenerative bone disease,
Yes.
my sacrum, L5, L6. I had no cartilage. I had to get the hip
Yeah.
replacement, the knees, the foot. It just like I was constipated. I was bleeding from my anal. I was bleeding out my ears. Just sitting here watching TV, blood coming out my ears.
Wow.
It's just all of that happened at one
Overwhelmed.
time.
Yeah.
Like in a week, I had pains everywhere. And I said, I can't live like this. That was a suicidal pain.
Shit.
And I almost did it. I had sold my gun recently, so I didn't have a gun.
Okay.
And I think that's why I'm still here. And because of that little guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here.
That's a blessing, man. I
Yeah.
know you told me about
Yeah.
your little Frenchie, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here because I'm glad I met you, man.
Yeah.
It's been great. Just even though I hear you
Yeah.
in the course in the class that we took through the VA, and then the first time we talked, it was just fascinating. I told my wife, "Oh my God, I just met this guy George, and he's amazing." And I hope we build a relationship and a
I
friendship
know
here.
we will.
My
I know we
goal my
will.
goal for Canteen Talks is not just to help veterans.
Yeah, people.
It's people,
Yes.
right? Our
that's all.
spouses, our
Yes.
children, our
Yes.
friends that don't know, right?
Yeah.
That's a goal that I have for this because
And
they'll sit here, they'll watch a story. I want my wife to sit down and watch it.
yes.
I want my kids to sit down and watch it and understand because they don't know the veteran that's out there who's suffering. And even though they may look healthy and strong, they don't know everything
Inside.
they're dealing with internally or
Yeah.
even up here in the
Yeah.
brain, right?
Yeah.
You don't know. And that's the thing.
And,
So
and I pray to God I will continue praying every day that this is successful. And like I tell you, Hugo, anything I can do, when I get this little settlement I got waiting for, they gotta give it to me. They can't keep on denying me this.
Yeah.
I spoke to some counselors and I said, I think I might be blacklisted because how can you deny me after all I went through?
Yeah.
And the record's there. I got some copies of some records, you
Okay.
know, of my assignments and my physical injuries, you know, the
Yeah.
physical injury
Oh, yeah.
stuff. There's records of that. How can I be denied?
Yeah.
You know, and then, yes, I have been denied, but I never pursued it.
Yeah.
Now I'm pursuing it with legal action and,
Yeah.
and legal
I
representation.
know you've got some legal representation. I've got a great person if you're interested
Yeah.
in speaking with that can most likely help you out, and we could talk a little bit more about it
Offline.
afterwards.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be something good.
We'll deal with that later.
You know, it's I think about our conversation or now our dialogue, and I wonder if we even do phase 3. We probably should because it's just the process that I created for this.
Yes.
But we've talked a lot about coping and things of that nature. Let's
Uh-huh.
let's kind of take a little break now,
Okay.
and then we'll come back and do phase 3 because we kind of delved into that already.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about what we just said about the person that I know that may be able to provide you some directions, even some
Okay.
assistance, and I'll tell you how it works.
Okay.
Okay. All
Sounds
right.
good.